Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of I Love My HBCU ? I have what I think is in my top 3 most bubbly, exciting, amazing guests joining me today. And she is Applemania Bradford. Applemania, welcome to I Love My HBCU ? How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm the one that's lucky and should be thanking you. I
Oh.
saw an article on you not too long ago, and you've got to give us a couple of marketing tips, right? When I saw Teacher B.A.E, how do you not get excited to find out a little bit more about this person? And I don't know if you can stand up or just move up a little bit. She's a Florida A&M University alum, and it's FAMU Bay that she has on, balanced and educated. Of course, the Rattler sign, of course.
Yes, always and forever.
So for those who don't know, and you're doing such an amazing job, as you probably know. You're seeing the results of the efforts that you've put into this.
Absolutely.
Many of us know Teacher B.A.E, but tell us what Teacher B.A.E is about.
Yeah, so Teacher B.A.E, of course, the B.A.E stands for Balanced and Educated, and we are a nonprofit organization for educators. And what we seek to do is unify educators together, bring awareness to self-care, and demystify the myth that self-care is selfish, because clearly it is not, through a balanced and educated approach. And what we seek to do is just bring, unify our educators together and demystify that self-care is selfish, because guess what? A study showed that 53% of educators feared for their mental health. Honestly, we can't do what we do, stand before a classroom filled with children, if we are not healthy and whole. So that's why Teacher B.A.E came about, and God gave me the vision in 2019, and I manifested it. I had a group of supportive teachers, educators, Teacher B.A.Es that believed in my vision, and we went forward. So we've just been growing and thriving thanks to the support of our supporters and our sponsors, and even platforms like yourself. So I'm just amazed and always in awe about the opportunities and the blessings that Teacher B.A.E is receiving, because it's not just a hashtag. Teacher B.A.E, it's not a hashtag. You've probably seen it years ago in the news and on all these blogs. Teacher B.A.E, amazing, wonderful teacher. She went viral. But our nonprofit stands for more than just a hashtag. It's a lifestyle, living in a balanced and educated lifestyle, and making sure that we are healthy and whole for the sake of what we do, so that we can empower beyond the classroom.
So Applemania, you are speaking to a fellow educator. So everything you're saying, I'm most who've been listening know that I am almost 20 years now at Morgan State University as administrator and professor. And
Okay.
you hit a nerve, and it's a nerve that gets hit often enough for me. As you know, we are in the space of making sure we are putting our students' mental health front of mind. And
Yes.
the reality is there isn't as much conversation
Mm-hmm.
about putting our own
Yeah.
mental health front of mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm guilty of student first, student
Yeah.
first,
For
student
sure.
first.
For sure.
That
We
even
all
when
are.
there you go. So I want you to bless us with at least 3 or 2 or even one simple self-care tip that you, because you are an educator as
Yeah.
well, you are
Okay.
actively living this,
Yeah.
that you make sure you indulge in, that our listeners who are absolutely educators as well might start to practice. I'm
Right.
listening and
So
I'm writing it down.
absolutely. So let's start with self care. First of all, we need to understand that self care is not selfish, it's essential. We also need to understand that self care, everybody want to start so big. You don't have to start big, because self care is all about progression, not perfection. So, some simple self care tips that I love to tell my fellow educators and professionals and just people in general is that we can start with just meditating, because there are 5 different pillars of self-care. You want to focus on your physical, your emotional, you want to focus on your spiritual aspect, your social aspect, those domains of self-care. So some small things that you can start with is meditation. That's big for me. Before I receive my students on my way to work, me and my son, we are constantly in the car in full meditation and spiritual meditation, and we're meditating on God's word, centering our minds and manifesting an amazing day that we're going to have. So we got to start our day off right. We got to center our mind. So being mindful and, practicing mindfulness. So one tip that I always give people is meditation. It's simple. And I'm going to just throw a little plug in. I use the Abide app. And I mean, you may want to use other things, but I personally use that one. And it has centered me. It has rooted me. And that's just something that I consistently practice. Another thing that I like to do, and that I have kind of haven't been so, I haven't been as intentional with it, but I am, and that's working out. And that attends to your physical self-care domain. I weightlift, I work out with a trainer, and it literally, working out releases those endorphins that you need, So that is a really big part of just self-care for me, is working out. And I just love being in the gym with like-minded individuals that are putting themselves first. But, we also, when we say we're working out for our temple, but honestly, we're working out for our mental as well. So that's another self-care practice that I am intentional with, but I haven't been to the gym all week, but it's okay. I'm gonna jump back on.
Nice.
And then another self-care practice that I always indulge in is my social self-care, and hanging out with my girls and letting my hair down and being myself, and just being away from the life of the world and all the things that it throws at you. So that social self-care and hanging out with your girls and like-minded individuals, and just going to dinner, just having a nice little dinner date with your girls and socializing. So those are just 3 little self-care tips that you can start with. So meditation, working out, and hanging out with your girls.
I'll take it. And I also, because I have not heard of Abide app, so I actually also wrote down Abide app for anyone. Yes.
It's amazing. Top tier.
Top tier. Beautiful.
Yes.
Applemania.
Yes.
You are a Florida A&M University grad.
Can we say that I am a 2-time Florida A&M University grad?
She loved it so much she went back for her master's at Florida A&M University. You are we actually have a whole queue of Florida A&M University current students and alumni and alumna that are going to be on the show. And
yay!
Can I say this? And I am at Morgan State University. Yes, I am. And I love all my HBCUs.
Of course.
Here's the however. It is a different conversation when you speak to somebody from FAMU. There is a, number one, you guys get to brag, right? Being the number 1 public HBCU.
We brag different. And I mean BRAGG.
GG.
We brag different.
I've been learned. They've been learning me on that, is my best way of saying it.
Yes.
It's different, and I admire it. That is why I wanted to state that. I admire it. There's something about running into any one of you that, with all the issues, because HBCUs have issues, and I'm sure Florida A&M University has its issues as well.
Absolutely.
With all the issues that exist, there is a sense of active pride that FAMU people have. Okay,
Yes.
we're going to get into all those conversations soon, but I want
Yay.
to bless you with the rapid fire segment first, okay? So
Yes.
it's 67 seconds. I'm going to ask you as many questions as possible in those 67 seconds. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Applemania, and the clock starts after I read the first question.
Okay.
Applemania.
Yes.
Describe your HBCU experience in one word.
Collect. College
Collect.
in love and charity.
I love her. She created her own word.
That's literally our thing. That is, and that's what it is. That's what my HBCU experience was all about. Collect.
Collect. Love it. Okay. If your time in college was a song, what song would it be?
That's just how we roll. How we roll.
I love you.
You know what it is. You know what it
Yes,
is.
I do. I love you. I love you. If you remember in undergrad, if you remember, what was your best meal in college?
Well, I'm sorry.
If you remember, what was your best meal in college?
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about one-ish way and during homecoming. My one meal would be getting that hot, fried, fresh fish straight out the grease during those homecoming holidays. And you have all your vendors set up. Not sure of the name, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. That hot, fresh, fried fish that you get on the
fried
yes.
fish.
Yes.
Nice. Okay,
yes.
I've been told that my time is up, but I'm going to take the liberty of asking you one more question.
One more.
You are an educator, so I have to shout out your favorite professor and what did they teach?
Yes, shout out to Dr. Patty Ball Thomas. And you know what? She taught me life, how to do life. Yes, she gave me those educator tips and the practicum and helping me with all that good stuff that we do and learn as teachers in our program. But she taught me just about general life. And, a lot of those best practices that I, do in my classroom with my students, I have to give a major shout out to her and just understanding cultivating relationships with students because that's who she was known for and cultivating relationships. And I still have a relationship with her till this day. And that's important in the classroom. The first thing is cultivating relationships with students. And Dr. Patty Ball Thomas taught me that.
I love it. Dr. Patty Ball Thomas, thank
Yes.
you for you and thank you for the influence you had on Applemania. I love it. Applemania, you went to FAMU twice, but take us to the first time. As an undergrad, how did you make your HBCU college choice?
Yes, so it was easy for me. I like to tell people I had 3 colleges in mind.
Okay.
Florida A&M University, FAMU, and FAM. There is no way around it. I only applied to one school and one school only, the illustrious. So one of my cousins, unfortunately she passed away, but one of my cousins, she of course she made just such a big difference in my life, and I wanted to be just like her. And she went to our rival school, which is Bethune-Cookman University. So she was one of the first family members in our family to go to an HBCU. So, I knew about FAMU growing up because they would come to our schools. And then I knew about the Classic growing up. So I was like, yeah, I know I want to go to that school and I want to be a cheerleader. So it was no doubt in my mind. Like, I love to tell people my top 3 choices. It was just FAMU. Like, that was it. I only applied to FAMU. So, I wanted to have wanted to be a part of the HBCU culture. And I wanted to just make a difference because, when you graduate from an HBCU, it's just inevitable to not make a difference in whatever you do. It's just in us,
So, you tricked me there, right?
I trick everybody.
You did. I literally I'm always writing down notes as my guests are talking, right? And so once you said number 1 was FAMU, so I've been writing it down, and I was like, oh, so she's tricking me here. She's got it. That was your only choice. What is it about FAMU that you love? you love everything about FAMU, but I want you to give me something specific, like something that either was uniquely impressed upon you based on an experience that you have. What
Yeah,
is it about it? You love all of it, I can tell, but
clearly.
give me something
But
specific about
honestly,
FAMU.
in one word, family. Family represents unity amongst the FAMU alumni that have graduated and went on with their lives. I promise you, everywhere I go, there's family. Family in the airport, family on the beach, family in another country. There's family everywhere. And that connection and that unity that we have, it's the venom that runs so strong and heavy in our veins. It's an automatic connection that is like no other experience. It's that unity. And again, it goes back to COLAC, College of Love and Charity. So if I can just, and I know that was a lot, but family, that authentic relationship and unity that we have amongst each other. Yes.
So those who, well, the audience does not know that Applemania has an amazing, I'm going to call him not just her son, but an amazing segment producer on her end that set everything up for her. If Gregory comes to you, Applemania, and says, Mom, I know you've been singing the family pride, because guys, if you notice, she didn't say family, she said family, very specifically.
Very.
And says to you, Mom, I love you. I've seen nothing but orange and green all over since I've been growing up, but that's not where I want to go. What's your reaction? Look at her face. Those who are only listening to us, her answer is on her face. Her answer is literally on her face.
I get this. I literally get asked this question often because not only did I attend FAMU and graduate twice, so did his dad.
Wow.
He attended and graduated twice. So, I mean, and honestly, I told Gregory, I said, babe, I want you have to be an advocate for yourself.
Absolutely.
Of course, you got to go to college. Like, you just do. And he's 11, he's in the 5th grade, and we've been having those conversations. So I just feel like the life that I live delineates a college and love and charity lifestyle, a family lifestyle. And I think that the life that I live, he's going to make that decision. Now, he has definitely told me other schools, but the more he was like, Mom, does FAMU have a soccer program? Because he loves soccer. Does FAMU have baseball? Does FAMU have that? So I'm thinking like his top 3 choices, I think FAMU is in one of them. So we're just going to keep cultivating that love for my university, my beloved university, his dad and I beloved university. And we are prayerful that FAMU is, that's where my money is going. So that's all I have to tell him. I said, my money is going to FAMU. You're going to have to work hard if you want to go to another school. Sorry. Not sorry.
She's not sorry at all. She gave us a lot of words, and I think she gave us a lot of words for the benefit of those not watching, because anyone watching, her answer was in the half second right after I asked the question, where her face literally fell flat. Like, how in the world would he ever even think about going anywhere else? That's what her face told us. That was her actual answer, guys. Yeah. Anyway, there is love, and you speak of the love. It's hard not to listen to you and just feel a warmth that you hold for FAMU. The name of the podcast is I Love My HBCU ? There's that question mark there, right? And the question mark is so intentional, Applemania. Yeah. So I'm going to have us lean into the question mark ever so slightly, with your permission, okay?
Go ahead.
One question. What was the most challenging aspect of attending your HBCU?
So we talk about balance and living a balanced and educated lifestyle, transitioning from being at home and being with your parents, and just the way of life and the culture that they had for you. And I grew up in the church, and my parents were, pastors and ministers. So just making sure that I stay rooted and grounded. So I can just say like balancing a college lifestyle, being a college student, and still keeping those essential things that grounded and rooted me, just keeping that still a part of my life as I was matriculating throughout my college years. So just balancing that role and making sure that I put God in everything that I did, kept God first. And it was a transition, my freshman year, because I was still trying to understand like life. I'm like, I'm literally on my own pretty much. I mean, clearly my mom and dad were 4 hours away and I could call them at any given second, and still can at 38. But it was just the transition. I must say that was kind of like something challenging that I experienced. I wasn't homesick. I never wanted to like, oh my God, I gotta go home. Like I literally saw people like they left FAMU to go back home because they were just homesick. And I mean, that I get that for them, but as for me, it was just like balancing and making sure like I was maintaining my grades and maintaining life without being supervised by parents, especially like Christian parents that like,
Yes.
you were in church day in, day out. So just balancing that life. But I always tell people it's all about, train up a child so that when they grow older, they'll never depart. And I feel like that has been a part of me since day one. And that's why I'm the person I am today, which it felt like a challenge in the beginning, but that challenge slightly went away, as I matriculated, like just balancing and making sure I was still attending church and doing those things and keeping up. Another thing something that helped me with that challenge and balancing, being a college student, was making sure I built relationships with my professors. That is so important because you need your village. You need your village in college because you're just trying to matriculate and get through college. You're still young and you're learning, you're not sure of things. So it was very important that I cultivated relationships and built relationships with professors and mentors and having that village to support me along the way so that I can, have that balance that I needed.
Okay. So I'm going to throw this at you, Applemania, because you put a lot of that on your own onus as that natural growth that all of us have to go through as we transition from one stage of our lives to another stage of our lives, right?
Yes.
If you had a freshman going to FAMU today, and so let me tell you where this question is coming from. I had a student say to me not too long ago, Dr. Tosin, I can't pay for school. Why is it that when I go to financial aid, they're just pushing loans on me? Why can't they try to help me figure out another way? And I didn't have like a magic answer for the student, but I want to hear for you, based on some of the things that you saw that was frustrating for you at your HBCU. What was a frustrating moment that this isn't Applemania's fault? Applemania is not the one. It's not because Applemania is not getting used to her classes. It's because it could be something that the universities could improve on a little bit. What was that frustrating moment for you, and how was that frustrating moment handled?
Yeah. So again, I like to, there's no handouts. And that's what I tell like my new age mentees. There's no handout. You have to work hard for what you want.
Okay.
And if you are attending HBCUs, unfortunately, that topic that we don't really like to talk about is the financial aid and the financial responsibilities. And I just like to encourage, those that are entering college or that are in college and, you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay for college. I always say, get as many scholarships and grants that you can get. Grants are free money. Don't start taking out loans until you really need them, like in graduate school. So really maximize your time and, making sure you're getting your community service hours, making sure that you're already building that rapport and have that support system of people that's going to help fund your way in college. That's so important. But that is a challenge for, our HBCU students. It's just, having that support, that financial support. And of course, we don't want them to drop out of school, and we don't want them to pursue loans right away. We want them to exhaust their options, because loans, if you don't know, you have to pay them back. And Biden and cleared some of your loans out, you may not get as lucky. Okay, so you want they are there at your fingertips, but use them wisely. Be conscious about them, and do right about your finances. And have that village and support. Build relationships with personnel in the financial aid office, in the in your different programs, and have that support of people that's going to help you, because you never know, they may have resources that you don't know about. Hey, I know this local organization, they're giving out scholarships to students in need. So you never know where the money can come from. That's why it's so important, HBCU students, that you cultivate and build relationships. It is so important. Calling, texting, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Just wanted to call and update you on what's going on. Like, keep in touch with people. Like, I just don't think the new age kids, they don't understand how important relationships are and how far they can take you, even with a financial situation.
Do you think we, and I'm asking you to talk about those of us who are in the HBCU space permanently or consistently, do you think we could be doing something different that could help that along, so that the experience that the students have is not as frustrating? I want some
Yeah,
advice from you.
for sure. I think there needs to be a awareness, that we need to bring awareness to this topic. We like to shy away from it. We talk about all the good things, the culture of HBCU, but we need to talk about financial literacy, and how do we bring that back into like the curriculum? How do we bring that into the curriculum before they get to the college level, the collegiate level? Like, we need to talk about that. We can't expect, as educators, as ourselves, we can't expect their home life to give them that. So I feel like we need to create a space, so that and have, not just create a space, but provide resources, even if it's like bi-monthly meetups, or resources and partnerships with different organizations, to bring in, help spread awareness about financial literacy. I think that is so important, and I'm starting to hear more about it. It's becoming a part of school curriculums, but it's not it's not as in the limelight as I would want it to be. And I think all colleges, and I'm not sure, I'm sure they have some sort of financial literacy programs, but I'm not sure of how resourceful they are. Like, anybody can take a financial literacy class, but in order for them to understand and just be knowledgeable about ways they can overcome financial hardships, of resources that may be out there for them, it needs to be something that is intentionally and consistently happening. So we have to provide that space and those resources for our students, so that they are aware and they're knowledgeable, and they know how to mitigate those challenges when they arise.
We need so here's what I get from what you're saying, which I don't see how anybody would disagree with that. We
Mhm.
need to do a better job of making them more aware of
Yes,
what resources are available, as well as the responsibility that they may need to take along the way
absolutely.
with regards to mitigating some of those frustrations. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay.
I need to do a better job at that as well, to be honest. So I'll take
Yeah,
that.
we all can work on it,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I can't imagine that somebody who goes to FAMU the first time, loves it so much, goes back for the second time, isn't as active and present in all things HBCU. So, as we all know, with love comes action. I want you to brag, two G's at the end.
Two G's.
Brag, two G's. She's like double G, two G's at the
Double.
end.
Mhm.
Yes, I want you, Applemania, to brag on how you are showing that love in action. And it could be your HBCU or it could be any HBCU. How are you showing that love in action?
So first of all, I would like to acknowledge that I am a tenured teacher of 14 years, and a way that I bring awareness to HBCUs, not just to FAMU, but to all the HBCUs, is I have implemented, according to my curriculum guidelines, I have implemented HBCU Day during Black History Month. So I've been doing this for about over 7 years now with my students, and and I teach first graders. So, and I've even taught kindergartens this, but I bring in different HBCU grads from different various HBCUs, and they learn about HBCUs and how their HBCU gave them opportunities in their jobs, or their prospective jobs, and what they're doing now. But not only that, each student is assigned to HBCU, and I have bought these cute little pennants. They have to have 5 facts about the HBCU, and they have to have pictures like the mascot, the school colors, and just any pictures that, they learn about. And they have to, create and design, because I am a STEM teacher as well. So they have to design and create a pennant based on what they learn about the HBCU, and they have to present it. So I'm also teaching them public speaking, which
Absolutely.
HBCUs, you got to know how to be a public speaker, and they have classes for that. So I'm already preparing them and bringing awareness to what HBCUs are and why they were founded and why they are so important, especially during Black History Month. So my parents always thank me, especially parents of different cultures like Miss B. Thank you so much, because I'm clearly not an HBCU grad, but if my child wanted to go to a HBCU, we have to give credit for you for teaching them and making them aware of that. So I'm always, they always give me my flowers, but especially for that, bringing culture awareness. So that's one way that I spread HBCU unity and awareness. And another way is that, of course, I'm a founder of Teacher B.A.E Balanced and Educated, and FAMU, we're really big on giving back to our university. We just had our homecoming, and we raised millions of dollars. So one way that and something that I started is back in 2019, which was my 15th year, because we have a incoming freshman class anniversary, and next year is my 20th. So my 15th year, which was almost 5 years ago, I went back and I gave the FAMU Forever Scholarship on the behalf of my nonprofit organization to not only a college education student, but a student that was a part of the cheerleading organization, because I too was a FAMU cheerleader. So it gives me the pleasure and honor to be able to give back to a university that poured so much into me in various ways.
Applemania. Two things.
Yes.
Number one, I hope that every person who hears this gets inspired. A lot of people
So,
ask how Tosin, you that question mark that you put at the end of I Love My HBCU question mark. And anyone who's heard the very first episode, I explained that the question mark is to invite us to put our love in action. Because when we say I love my HBCU, it's beautiful to say it, it's beautiful to chant it. The question is, how does it show up? What does it look like? And it can look differently depending on who you are. And the reason why I want to keep asking that question is Applemania, people like you are going to keep giving different ways in which you are showing that love that will now inspire somebody else to say, wait, hold on. I'm not going to do it her way. I may not have the money to give. I may have time. I love the way you described the outreach and information that you are providing for your students, first
yes,
graders,
first graders. It's
because
amazing.
there's still so many parts of the United States of America where there are students, both melanated and other, who the
Yeah,
only options of colleges that they know of are the ones we keep on hearing.
yeah,
So whether they pick any of the HBCUs that you're teaching them about or not, they get to know that's an option. They get to
yeah.
know this also is part of the roster of places that they would go to. So I give you your flowers. Thank you. Thank you for sharing about learning of HBCUs from when they are really, really young
Their
and it's not
foundational
foreign
thing.
to them. Thank you so
Exactly.
much.
Oh, no.
Applemania, finish this sentence for me.
All right.
I can't wait to hear her answer because she's tricked me at least twice so far. So good. Finish this sentence for me. Because of my experience at my HBCU, I will not.
I will not ever, ever, no matter the circumstances, I will not ever not share the joy and the love of what FAMU provided for me.
So I know your president's face very well. I just can't always remember the name. Give me your president's name.
President Larry.
President Larry. I'm sure he knows of you.
You know what? He may not know of me because he wasn't my president, but he will know who I am.
He will know who you are, and he needs to invite you back and give you the badge of greatest ambassador.
Well, I'm so excited because that leads me to this. And on the behalf of President Larry and the College of Education, in December, I get to go back as a keynote speaker for the apple pinning ceremony for College of Education grads. And I can't explain the feeling and the gratitude that I feel right now in my heart. That's why I love my HBCU, and there's no question mark behind that.
There's no question mark behind that. I love it. I love the way she said there is no question mark behind that. So this episode may not come out until sometime in 2024. So by then you would have already been the keynote speaker for this ceremony that you mentioned. But in addition to that, you will forever be, I think, one of Florida A&M University's best ambassadors. It's, Lord have mercy. Listen, FAMU, you're doing something right.
I love to tell people I am an ambassador for the illustrious Florida A&M University. So let's go ahead and brand and manifest that.
So I normally ask this question, but I'm actually going to answer the question for you. I normally say, finish this other sentence for me. Okay. In 10 years, Florida A&M University, and I'm going to finish the sentence for you, will still be on top. Will still be the number one.
Absolutely.
We'll still have all of its alumni and alumna bragging on FAMU. See, I said it for you. I finished it for you.
Say less. Say less, sis. Say less.
Applemania. I love your energy. Bless the audience with something you're working on or something that you just want to share that we have not covered so far, that you absolutely don't want us to end this recording without the audience knowing this. Share with us.
I've shared so much about me, and I wanted to just put it out there that my nonprofit, Teacher B.A.E Balanced and Educated Incorporated, of course, I was able to be the founder and the CEO of that because of what FAMU, the opportunities that FAMU provided for me, especially obtaining 2 educational degrees from the illustrious FAMU. We are a nonprofit organization, and we thrive on the support and resources from the community, and to better help us mitigate stress and burnout that teachers feel in the classroom. We count on the support of our partners and our community support. So if you will, if you're on social medias, follow us at Teacher B.A.E Inc. INC on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Follow us, and we have a campaign going that in our campaign it is to help us help our communities thrive, because that's one of our pillars, is helping our community thrive. And we have a website that is teacherbayinc.org, and on that we have an ongoing campaign, and it's a QR code that you can scan to donate in the most generous way. $1, $2, $5, $1,000, whatever you can do to support us. We appreciate you. So with that being said, follow Teacher B.A.E on all platforms. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
I love my HBCU.
Yes, you do.
I appreciate you, and I'm just so honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I do. And here is the last question I have for you, even though you have answered it a gazillion times. But I like you to give us one word or phrase on why you love HBCUs.
The culture, the unity.
The culture, the unity. Applemania Bradford, one of FAMU's most amazing alumna. I appreciate you for being on I Love My HBCU ? I know the audience has loved hearing from you, and I hope that we have actually earned the honor of you liking and subscribing to I Love My HBCU ? On wherever you get your podcasts. Yours in HBCU love. See you next episode. And Applemania, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to I Love My HBCU ? Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst of course holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.